Okay, so for this episode of ABNcast, recorded at Farnborough Airshow in 2026, we've come to one of the chalets at the event. It's always nice to be at the chalet because they're nice facilities. We're at the Tata Consultancy Services chalet, and I'm joined by Balaji Bashayam, who is the Chief Strategy Officer for Aviation, Transport, and Aviation, of course, Aviation for Tata. So, Balaji, thanks for joining us, and thanks for inviting us into the chalet while we're here at Farnborough this year. After we've spoken, we'll actually see some technology in practice. You've got some demos around the corner, so we'll see how it looks in reality. But what we'll talk about is AI and technologies and how that's being applied across the aviation industry in so many areas. Let's start with MRO. MRO is one of our key areas as a publisher of MRO management. What's happening in the MRO sector? How is AI being adopted? What's the promise of AI in that part of the aviation industry?
Yeah, I think AI has come at the right time, really. It has always been there, but then when you're talking about MRO, the opportunities for productivity improvements is immense. Now, some of the things that we are seeing in the MRO and things we are actively working on solutions are things like, how can we equip the technician, the engineer at the site with better information, the key information that he needs or she needs in order to get an aircraft back in operations? And one of the key problem statements that we see when in terms of them doing their job is they have so much documentation that they have to crunch through and then take all of that information and then apply it into whatever defect they're looking at. Now, where AI really comes in is how we can crunch all of this documentation, and there's a lot that keeps coming in. The manufacturers are constantly pumping a lot of information as they improve their equipment. So how do you read this information and then apply it? We see AI really coming into its own in this kind of situation.
It feels like AI in particular is good when you've got huge amounts of data. I mean, that's where no human can possibly calculate or even look at it, and it can do it so quickly, and it can find the thing you're looking for very quickly. Obviously in aviation, there's loads of data out there, and it's actually only increasing.
Absolutely.
We run the Predictive Aircraft Maintenance Conference. We're going to do predictive. It's all about data, really. That's at the core of it. So that's clearly where AI can help. And it doesn't mean to say that the AI is doing everything. It's just helping the human get to a shortcut to where it needs to get to. Is that where AI is really becoming a key part of the aviation sector?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a data-rich sector. There's plenty of data. It's about how do we use data? How do we make data available at the right moment and at the right time with the right insight? Now, where AI is really coming in is that decision that the human has to take, it actually exponentially increases the productivity of each and every engineer. If you just take the example of MRO. Now, with the AI, they know what they need, and then they get what they need, and they're able to apply it in the context of that defect, etc. So in that sense, it's really a productivity multiplier, exponentially multiplies the productivity. And it's all about making sure that all the data that's there, data today exists, but it's sitting in various silos. Bringing it all together, making sense of it, and then bringing the intelligence into it. That's really where the promise of this technology is.
The whole thing sounds obviously in principle like a no-brainer, and so think, well, why hasn't it already happened? So there are always blockers to things moving and moving quickly, maybe. And maybe it is moving, it's just not moving as quickly as people would like. But what are the big challenges? We're talking really about the digitization, the paperless MRO, the paperless shop,
Absolutely.
And that's still many years away, but it's coming, and it's coming quickly.
I think the thing here is the industry has got specializations turned into silos. So you had individual focus of specialization and engineer, controller, etc. But what happened is the data also started getting into silos. Now the data is you have all the right data, but it is not usable in a way that you can see the big picture. Everybody has that element of information they need to do a part of their job, but not everything is. And then paper comes in to kind of fix the inefficiencies. So yes, paperless MRO is something that has been talked about for a long time, but this is the kind of time that you can really make it real. But the foundations have to be there, and the foundations are not yet in place. And that's where we see most of our customers. A lot of information is stuck in paper. The first use case I mentioned to you, and even, and you just look at paperless, if you take that as an example, there's a huge hangar. People have to be given tasks. How was the task performed? It's all recorded in paper. Now, how do you digitize it and then make it available for the next person coming in to service a defect? That's really where we need to get to. And we are Getting there, not there yet.
But slow. What's your answer to people who say, look, this is all very well and good, but I don't trust AI, it hallucinates. In aviation, we simply cannot have any kind of problems like that. So clearly that's going to be an issue, and it's always going to be an issue. But what's your answer to people who are a bit skeptical?
Yeah, and it's really zero margin for error industry. You really cannot get anything wrong. But I think you start to blend AI into the process. You don't necessarily unleash AI by itself. There's always needs to be a human. And then over a period of time, there are ways to limit the hallucinations. It's not like it hallucinates wildly all the time. But then when does it hallucinate? How do you put the guardrails and ensure that it gives you what you need? But we do see that in the initial period of time, there is a human in the loop. And over a period of time, the human starts to build a confidence in it, and then the AI takes real. But it's going to be a period of time. And then the key bit we talk a lot about technology, but also a human accepting the technology. These two will run in parallel. And AI is a use case for this.
Obviously, Tata is an Indian company, a very big Indian company. You employ a lot of people. You've got a lot of human resources in India. So that's not so much a problem. But we know that's an issue generally across the globe. And it's a very big issue for aviation. To what extent can these technologies help the industry to meet that challenge of a lack of talent or a lack of ability to attract the right talent?
I think in the end, it always comes down to what's the problem we are trying to solve, and then the talent kind of organizes itself behind it. So, are we making the life of the passenger better? Are we making the life of the staff better, the MRO engineer better? And then the talent kind of organizes itself behind it. And when we talk about talent, there are different types of talent when it comes to AI. It's not just like a programming talent or something. You need talent to be able to understand the problem statement, and then to be able to decompose it into chunks of solutions. So talent need not be just one type of talent. It's a different types of talent. And then there are, of course, we have a lot of talent available as well. And when we work with our customers, they bring a lot of their own talent to the table. So it's all about bringing it all together and solving. It's not like it's one part of a bigger puzzle, and the context is always the customer, is always the traveler.
The next generation of employees are going to expect this kind of technology in their businesses. They're going to wonder why that's not the case if you don't have it. So it's almost like a must-have these days, isn't it?
You look at baggage handlers. It's a highly physically intensive job. Tomorrow, a physical robot could start to take over. That's the kind of thing that we are looking at. These are not jobs that people are really going to gravitate towards going forward. You have the opportunity now with the technology.
Let's go into some other areas where AI is being applied. Cargo is one area. It's obviously an area that's interesting to us through our air cargo management title. Cargo doesn't get very many headlines, but it's an important part of the industry. In fact, it kept the industry going during COVID. How can AI bring cargo a bit more to the fore? I feel like there's a missed opportunity there with cargo.
Yes, cargo is one of those cousins who are not really getting all the attention that they deserve. There are different things. So, for example, the warehouse. A cargo warehouse is a pretty busy piece of the entire puzzle. And you have got situations where people ship, they have shipments of all sizes, shapes and sizes, and things like irregular shipments. Right now, it's a very physically human intensive activity of loading, getting the shipment from the shipper, and then loading it into the right containers and so on. So this is sort of places where, we could talk about physical AI to be able to understand what the shipment looks like and then making it, loading it into the right container and so on. So this is sort of places where AI can start off in a small way, but then over a period of time, it starts to get better and better. And the other thing that we see is also, usually you have the freight forwarder community. So airlines don't directly sell to their end. Where we are seeing some of the things is like how you can sell directly to the end shipper. And then in order to achieve that, you got a lot of shippers. How do you make sure that they're legally and financially solvent? AI kind of comes into this, creating these contracts. And then helping airlines actually expanding to an end-to-end proposition from shipper to consignee kind of a proposition. Right now, they are right in the middle of the supply chain, but they can really look at AI to expand.
If AI in cargo made the cargo sector more seamless, easy to deal with, there's an opportunity there that's currently not being exploited on every aircraft that's flying. I mean, they've all got a cargo hold, and very rarely is it full, or even used to pull?
That's actually very interesting because, it's those who transport cargo in the belly and they have to always compete with the passenger baggage. How do you ensure that the right amount of you do the right forecasting? So you don't oversell or undersell cargo. There are some cases where if you just on very busy routes, you can make a lot more if you're able to get just one space cargo.
Yeah.
But there are times when it doesn't completely go full.
Sure.
But when it goes full,
A similar area is when airlines themselves are doing their own retailing. And I think I remember coming here 2 years ago to your chalet and being demonstrated some really cool software that helps the retail side of things, and also helps an airline retail more, not just the seat, but everything related to the trip.
Absolutely.
So where's AI being deployed in airline retail?
So for a traveler, planning that dream vacation is an activity in itself.
Yeah.
It's of course the actual experience of going to the destination, but actually getting that inspiration, getting the content and say, okay, I would like this kind of experience, curating their own experience. AI kind of blends into this. So they get more choices. They're able to see exactly who they want to travel with, where they want to go, how they want to, experience that destination. AI really blends very well into this. Right now, it's a lot more regimented ways of where do you want to go to, when do you want to go, etc. Tomorrow, it can be a lot more conversational.
Yeah.
And then as part of that conversation, you can get the right choices, not just the travel, but also the things around it.
Yeah.
So that's really one place that we see AI blending into it. And then even right through the journey itself, when they're in the process of it, how can they make their journey better, more convenient, more enriching? At the end of the day, they wouldn't even realize that there's AI behind the scenes. They're just getting the best choices.
Yeah.
And yes, when things go wrong, the better choices, to recover the journey.
Yeah, we'll talk about when things go wrong in a minute, because there's not everything always goes right in aviation. But just to finish on that point, we're moving into the world of agentic commerce. Other sectors are going ahead of this quickly. So what we'll see is other sectors embracing this technology. And if aviation sort of stays behind and doesn't, it's going to look like it's a little bit behind the curve, isn't it? And it's going to be expectations from consumers pushing this forward rather than the business themselves pushing it forward.
Absolutely. This is a very interesting context, use case. Agentic comes in. There's a lot that needs to go in before a traveler actually commits to paying that money. And travel is probably the biggest single expense for a customer, for a family, for example. There's something that they dream. And there's so much that needs to come together before they can say, okay, this is what I need. Are you able to get the right hotel? Are you get the right ground transportation? Are you able to get finally the flight as well? Bringing all of this together and putting it together in one package, that's really where AI in agentic comes together. At the moment in time, there is a statistic which says an agent or a customer visits 18 different websites before he makes a decision.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to do that.
No.
And that's really where the opportunity of AI and agentic comes in.
Yeah. And the final area, we mentioned it a minute ago, but is when things are disrupted. And it happens all the time. We've seen it this year, causes huge logistical issues for the industry. Absolutely. So, and again, you can see that AI solutions are the answer to making quick decisions and the right decisions at the right time.
Absolutely.
So, again, your TCS is developing solutions for this area as well. What sort of areas are you focusing on?
So we are there because when you talk about the disruption, there's a lot that needs to come together before the journey or the operations is back on its feet. So if you have a mass disruption, for example, there's a snowstorm or a hurricane, for example, it's not just one passenger, one flight getting disrupted. It's an entire network really struggling to get back. So you have to go to recover the fleet, you've got to recover the crew, and then you've got to recover the passengers as well.
Yeah.
This is
bags as well, I guess.
Bags. So there's so many decisions that need to come together, and this could take like 3 days, really bringing it all together. And how do you get the most important people out before? And when you talk about important, doesn't necessarily mean it could be families with children, elderly people. How do you make those decisions? Which aircraft which network or which route do you bring to recover first? There's so many decisions that need to be made, and today a lot of it is done by gut instinct.
Yeah.
Tomorrow AI. And then when you do it by gut instinct, there's only so much a human can do, even if there's a team. AI can really blend into this.
Yeah.
And you can recover faster. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to the traveling customer. And each customer is different. So there could be a business traveler who knows what's happening. They are almost on autopilot, but there are elderly couples traveling. For them, is one flight in a year or maybe a long. Families with children.
Yeah.
AI, where we see really is like, how do you understand the context of each of those customers and give them the best solution so that they get better work.
And it comes down to customer service, that doesn't it? If you've got a happy customer, you've got a customer who comes back and spends more money. So all good. Just before we finish, just tell us about TCS does. What is the role of TCS? So you're part of the Tata Group.
Yeah.
Obviously affiliated with Air India and so on. But TCS, what is the consultancy services role in developing this technology and in getting it out there into the real world and used?
Yeah. I think our chairman said it really well in one of the interviews earlier this year, is that every one of our customers have their own context, their own customers, their own data.
Yeah.
There's a lot that needs to come together in order for them to improve their customer proposition, their customer experience, their staff experience. We bring that together. So there is a lot of choice for our airlines, etc. They can buy a specific solution for a specific problem, but that's only one part of the larger puzzle. But how do you look at your operations as a whole, like a 360-degree view of your operations, a 360-degree view of your customers? That's a lot of components that need to come together before you can actually make something meaningful out there. We bring it all together.
So no individual airline really has that ability internally because they only see it from their point of view. A consultancy like Tata gives you that broader industry view, but also has expertise outside of aviation to bring into this.
That's one of the things. Like we have retail, we have manufacturing and all that. And I think that's what really our customers look for. They know their business, but what's the inspiration that we can see from outside, which there's probably not visible to them.
Yeah.
Bringing it all together. And that's really what we do for our customers.
Cool. Look, Balaj, thanks for inviting us to speak. We're going to see some AI in action around the corner in a minute. It's really fascinating stuff. But thanks again. We'll no doubt see you at a future air show. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Okay, so we're here in the Tata Consultancy Services chalet at Farnborough Airshow. I'm joined by Tejan. Tejan, welcome. You're going to show us what the technologies around us are doing and why it's relevant to aviation. So hand over to you. You can talk us through what we've got in front of us.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. So, of course, we are at one of the largest aerospace events in the world. We are a technology company. Everyone's talking about AI. And what we're trying to do here is bring everything together. So the theme of what we're showing here is embodied intelligence, physical AI, and agentic AI. We are doing this in the context of aerospace and aerospace inspections. Before I go over to the demo itself, just to talk you through what we're showing here as a whole. When it comes to AI in aerospace, or for that matter in any industry, it's all about sensing, acting, and the reasoning that underlies it, right? So what do I mean by that? Sense in the context of a visual inspection, let's say. In yesterday's world, it's a very manual intensive process. You have a technician, an expert, who will walk around an assembly or sub-assembly with some sort of camera in hand, record images, use his experience to interpret what defects they can find. How can we reimagine that with AI? So physical AI, quadrupeds like this have really scaled up in the last couple of years. From a TCS perspective, we've built in the intelligence into that, and that enables this quadruped, we'll give you a demo shortly, to walk around the assembly on the shop floor and identify minute defects like these ones, send them through to the brain, the AI brain, to interpret. So the variety, the volume, and the velocity with which embodied agent like this can capture issues, interpret them, and diagnose them far surpasses something that a human can do. So that's the sense part of it. But underlying this intelligence is a core reasoning engine. We are all talking about agentic AI and the power of LLMs and VLMs. So how do we gather data from different sources? It could be visual, it could be enterprise data. All our customers here have 20, 30 years of historic data all feeding into that intelligence. So we have agentic models that can enable that, and we have specific demos for that. And then there's also a lot of discussion around, can we use things like humanoids, right? Yeah. So we have demos where we've put humanoids together in an aerospace context to pick up some of those repetitive tasks and perform them, right? So the consistency and the flexibility of the tasks that can be performed by a humanoid also come into play.
Yeah.
So just to summarize before the demo, it's all about using physical AI embodied AI or physical AI and agentic AI, bring them together to see how we can transform day in the life of operations, right?
But on the act side,
Yeah.
the AI sensors suggest an action.
Yes.
And it's a human that then makes that decision at the moment. I mean, maybe in the future it'll be purely non-human, but
Yeah.
for the foreseeable future, a human will be in the loop.
That's a fantastic question because the lines are blurring, right?
Yeah.
So yes, again, yesterday's world, it would send an alert out to the expert would come in and do it. But we're also looking at things like wearables. So this is a meta glass. So there's nothing that stops us. We've actually got a model in here. Mm-hmm. So I put that on. I've got the alert that, look, we found these defects. I put this on and I ask questions. So I say, when did this issue happen last?
Okay.
What did I do to fix it? Or I need a particular part. Can I order
and if
the part?
If the data is available, it
Yes.
will come through into the glasses
Yes.
in a screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I can say, okay, I see that this panel is defective. I want to replace the panel. Do I have one in my inventory? So I can say that panel P123 is what I'm looking for. Where is
Yeah.
the closest location? So all sorts of possibilities open up.
Yeah.
So that's a human AI collaboration model that we're talking about here. Of course, there'll be some very repetitive tasks which we can look at for things like humanoids to
And
do
you're showing,
completely.
this is obviously resembles a dog.
Yes.
The humanoid resembles a human.
Yes.
But it could be a drone.
It could be a
like
drone.
a vehicle of some sort. It doesn't have to
Absolutely.
be-
The intelligence is the core aspect of it. That's the engine.
Yeah.
The embodiment could be anything. And again, it's all about all the trends coming together. So on the one hand, you have AI really maturing, but the cost of robotics is also dropping. So the overall cost to value when we're discussing with customers is sort of where it's leading to. So
Yeah.
we've also launched a report at this event as TCS on physical AI. And we see that upwards of 60% of our customers see that or anticipate a genuine ROI in the next 3 years. So that's where we see a lot of potential in this technology.
And for me, for engineers who are used to doing things in the old ways,
Yeah.
are they excited by the possibility of this, or do they see it as being potentially a threat?
I would say there's cautious optimism at first glance, but then when they realize that a lot of the drudgery element of work can be picked up by robots, and then they can actually apply their experience and their intellect to find out what the root cause is and how to stop it the next time. That frees up their time to do the value-added tasks.
Yeah.
I think it's a much more exciting conversation.
Yeah.
At first glance, like every one of us, there's a little bit of apprehension about where is AI going to take us. But if the value is articulated properly, it's a great discussion.
Yeah.
And we've been seeing that throughout the last few days as well.
And for the industry, on Friday, the show turns into a careers day. Young people coming in to learn about what aviation is all about. When they see this,
Absolutely.
it opens their eyes to what's the possibilities. It's no longer an old-fashioned engineering industry. It's a very high-tech industry. Isn't it?
Absolutely. And things like wearables and robotics and physical AI, it's all coming together. It's a convergence of all these technologies that have been evolving, but they're ready to hit the real time.
Right. Good. Thanks very much for sharing us.
No problem.
That's great. Okay, so now Asutosh is going to show us this demonstration in working in real time. So over to you, Asutosh. Show us what it can do.
So before I show this demonstration, I would like to take a minute and talk to you about how it basically works. So we have already seen that Tejan has talked about the sense, reason, and act. So basically, this quadruped has sensors in front of it, like you can see a camera and a LiDAR that helps sense the environment, understand the environment. Then there is reasoning models that we have in this robot that helps in understanding the environment and perform the use case. So the act part is basically to navigate around. Let's say in the inspection use case, it will need to navigate around and look at the object in front of it and identify the defects.
Yeah.
So that is what we're going to do right now, and we'll see how the quadruped is doing that autonomously. So now we'll see the quadruped will do a routine inspection, and in real time, you'll see some of the observations captured by the robot.
Yeah, so what we're seeing on there is what quadruped is looking at.
So on the left-hand side is the live feed from the robot camera, and on the right-hand side, it's publishing the observations in real time as it is moving around that object. So these are only the possibilities that it is trying to capture. But at the end of it, with all the knowledge at hand, the technical documentations, the design documentations, it will correlate and cross-reference with that and generate a detailed inspection report, where we'll know what kind of defects it has captured, where are the relative positions of the defect, what is the severity, what is the impact, and a lot of information that will help the engineers do these immediate repairs after that.
Yeah.
So as you can see, so it has completed all the observations. Now, very shortly, you'll see this inspection report. This is a consolidated report that will have all the observations listed, right? So this detail is available to engineers to act upon it. So that's where the wearable technology can come in, where we expecting that the defects that is identified by the robot is available in the wearables for the engineers to go ahead and they know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And then the wearable also has reasoning models that can provide recommendations like how to fix that problem. And like Tejan also mentioned, it is integrated with the enterprise system. So for example, if you need to replace a panel, you need certain parts, then we have agentic integrations, which can place a procurement request or maybe place an outward material movement request so that you have the materials on the ground without you doing anything about it.
Yeah.
So the reasoning models in the MetaGlass will understand from the wearable, will understand and do that particular action for you.
Yeah.
So that way, you're already getting a lot of information about what's happening on the floor, and you're getting assistance from both the physical AI and the agentic AI aspect of it. Now, one thing to note here is that sometimes when we do this manual inspections, we see these kinds of defects. Maybe this could be a dent, but sometimes it may so happen that this could be a design also.
Yeah.
Or this could be a defect. So the quadruped or any kind of physical system for that matter already has that technical information at hand to understand whether something is a defect or not. So that
you don't get any false
no false wrongs for that. That is how we are ensuring that.
Yeah.
So this
is set up to look like it's an engine off wing. It's in a shop, but I guess this kind of technology can be used anywhere really, where on the ground at a stand, just to do a quick inspection if something has happened.
Yeah,
on landing or in the air.
Yeah, because physical AI, as it seems, it's all about having that intelligence model on different form factors.
Yeah.
So we are using quadruped for some particular type of inspection at specific area. We could easily think about the same intelligence on a drone itself to do an inspection on a different area.
Yeah.
So we have to look at that from that point of view. So how we are using these kinds of different form factors for different types of inspections or different areas of inspection.
Yeah. So how developed is this technology? Is it currently in use?
Yes.
In real life situations?
Yes, we have already started deploying that, and we have seen its application in construction monitoring, in warehouse patrolling and hazardous areas, basically for more or less monitoring type of use cases and inspections type of use cases. But this is the form factor that we see is most mature today.
Yeah.
And humanoid, as Tejan mentioned, is evolving. And we'll see more use cases, coming up in the future. So currently it is doing pick and place, and we can see the dexterity improving. Like you can see in the video, it's able to pick up different form factors of the object at hand. So that way we are looking at how these physical AI systems are getting deployed in the market.
Yeah. Well, cool. Looks like quadruped's going to sleep. Is that a lie down?
No, it has done its job. Now it's in rest. It's in idle mode.
Okay.
So when we, command for a next job, it will just go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it won't ever be off duty either, will it? Because it's going to be
it is
24/7.
Yes, we are looking at the 24/7 operation.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for showing us that. That's really fascinating. Thanks very much. Cheers.